Hi, I'm Amy from the Fewell Homestead and thefewellhomestead.com, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about harvesting and drying your herbs and even making your own homemade DIY herb drying rack. So here we go. So the weather here in Virginia has been crazy. Gardening this year has just been completely a nightmare because of all the rain and all the wet ground and it just staying wet constantly. We've had constant flooding and issues, and so it's just been one thing after the other with gardening this year. So I don't have huge hopes for my vegetables, but the herb garden is actually doing pretty good, which surprised me as well. So recently I've been harvesting herbs like lemon balm, lavender, mints, lots of great things that are readily available and grow really well in any kind of condition. My sage is also doing really good, and so I've been harvesting a lot of my herbs and drying them out. And so I wanted to kind of share with you a little bit of what I've been doing with herb gardening and maybe even give you some tidbits of information that you might not have known about. So it's extremely important to harvest your herbs first thing in the morning. So if you have my book, you probably already know this, but all of the volatile oils that really make a difference in creating medicinal remedies out of your herbs really are in those volatile oils that are in flower heads and leaves. And so you want to harvest your herbs first thing in the morning, early morning, before the sun really hits them, because the sun evaporates those volatile oils in your herbs, and so it's best to harvest before that happens. Now, once you harvest them, you can bring them inside and hang them up to dry. You can put them in a dehydrator. You can dehydrate them in your oven, or you could set them in the sun to dehydrate that way, but it's best not to dehydrate in the sun. You would normally only dehydrate like fruits and vegetables in the sun, not necessarily herbs. Though it's doable, you can if you're in a pinch. It does lose some of that medicinal value when you dehydrate your herbs in the sun. So what I normally do is after I'm done harvesting all of my herbs, I will bring them inside and I will start getting ready to hang them. And your best option is to pull away all of the leaves that are at the end of the stem so that you have bare stems showing and not a lot of leaves. And then take twine or whatever you want to wrap it up with. You can even use zip ties if you want to. I like to use twine and wrap it around the stems where you've pulled the leaves off. That way you don't run into any mold issues. One of the biggest issues with hanging herbs to dry has always been mold. A lot of people might clutter the bundles too close together, and the key to good dry herbs when hanging is all of that airflow that can get in that bundle. So you don't want to have too many leaves at the bottom that are bunched, or you're immediately going to get mold within the first week. So once you've got your stems cleaned off, you can wrap it up with twine, and then you have your first herb bundle. Now, I usually in the past would just hang it on a cabinet hook or a cabinet pull or a drawer pull. It's just easy that way. You can hang it in your pantry, you can hang hooks from your ceiling, whatever it is that you like to do. You can even hang it in a root cellar. But this year I wanted to do something a little bit different. I have some vertical space in my kitchen that's not being used. I was originally going to put a plate rack there when we first started doing our kitchen with maybe a couple of cabinets, but then I decided against that. And so I wanted to use the space for my herbs this year. So this was really simple project, cost me nothing. Didn't cost me a single thing. I already had all of the materials on hand. So I wanted to put an herb drying rack above my sink where my two cabinets come apart above my sink and there's nothing up above it. So what I did is I went out into the yard. We have, our whole house is surrounded by woods. And I chose about a 1 inch to 2 inch thick stick from our yard, and I didn't want just any stick. I wanted the stick to have some character. I wanted some white moss and stuff on it. That way it kind of went with our farmhouse style look in the kitchen and our white cabinets, and wasn't an eyesore, kind of blended in with everything else. So I found my perfect stick, cut it down to length, basically broke it down to length, and simply placed it on top of, in between the two cabinets, and it just rests there on its own. I didn't have to bolt it down or anything. Now if you were putting a lot of bulky weight on it, then you might consider a thicker stick or maybe putting it somewhere else, but I'm only harvesting and doing a few bundles at a time, and most of them are lightweight herbs. So at that point, I put my stick up. I took my shower hooks. I had shower hooks from that previous that day. These hooks were not working in our bathroom at all. The shower liner kept coming off. And so I'd gotten new shower hooks, and I thought, these shower hooks are basically brand new. I've got to do something with them. So instead of tying the twine directly to the stick, I decided to put the hooks on there. That way it's easier for me to take the herbs on and off of the stick. So I placed the hooks on, and then I took my herb bundles. Put a slip knot at the end. Instead of tying a knot, you just do a quick slip knot, and then I placed them on the hook, and that was it. That's all I did. And now not only are they drying, I'm taking advantage of that vertical space, and it's pretty. So it was such a great project for me to do. I really enjoyed doing it. It's something that you can do as well. Now you don't have to hang it over your kitchen sink. You can hang it from a pantry, you can hang it from the ceiling, you can put pieces of twine on either end and hang it up if you don't have anywhere for it to rest. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it, but there's no need to really go out and buy a drying rack if you want to do herb drying in bundles. Like I said, there's other ways to dry herbs, and if you haven't gotten my book yet, The Homesteader's Herbal Companion, I would encourage you to do that to find the best thing that works for you in drying your herbs and harvesting your herbs. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, I really encourage you to. If you have gotten it, I would love for you to go leave a review on Amazon. That just lets people know that the book is valid and it has great efficacy, and it's a great read if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, you can leave a review too. But if you haven't gotten the book yet, you can purchase it online on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can find it at your local bookstore. You can find it in Sam's Club and a lot of other places. Or you can purchase a signed copy on my website at thefewellhomestead.com. Now, this book was a lot of fun to write, and if you are wanting to incorporate more natural living onto your homestead, even if you aren't a homesteader, it's not just for the homesteaders, it's for anyone who wants to learn more about herbs and herbalism, then this is the book for you. I could never find any book out there that kind of had it all, and so I decided to write one. As Beverly Cleary once said, if you can't find the book that you like on the shelf, then write it. And so that's exactly what I did. And I hope that it encourages you guys along your herbal journey. Not only does it talk to you about growing, harvesting, and preserving your herbs, it talks to you about how to use your herbs. So it gives you lots of recipes for salves and tinctures and soaps, and even goes into what herbs to use best pairing with meat or dinner or cooking with herbs. It kind of goes through every little detail about herbs in this book. It even talks about how to use herbs for your family and for your livestock and barnyard. So if you don't have pets or livestock, most of the book will pertain to you. There is a chapter or two on livestock that would be great for you as well. I've also linked a blog in the post description below where you can find out more information on how to dry and store and preserve your herbs on a blog post that I did on our website. So I hope that you enjoy that. That's it from me today. Hope you guys have a great day. Happy homesteading and happy herbing.